Thank you very much. Wow, what an introduction. I already feel good about myself. The topic I'm going to talk about today is overcoming adversity. Now, if the word adversity does not make the hackles on the back of your neck rise, then there is definitely something wrong with you. Either that or you're a sadist who loves pain, who loves torture, who loves going through the most difficult times and come out smelling like roses at the end. My question is there anyone in this audience who during COVID-19, the pandemic, had a joyful, delicious, wonderful time, a celebratory period? Anyone? If there is any such person, please raise your hand. Well, nobody's raising their hands because the pandemic was a serious time of adversity. We were all punished by the pandemic. However, I must tell you, I have some pleasant memories about COVID-19, which I will share with you later. Now, my message is one of resilience, perseverance, and triumph in the face of adversity. Throughout our lives, we encounter countless obstacles, setbacks, and challenges that test our resolve and push us to the limit. However, it is these exact adversarial situations that reveal our true character and our strengths. Adversity comes in various forms. It could be, for example, a societal challenge. It could be work-related. It could be a medical condition that you suffer from, or it could be a personal issue that you need to deal with. Regardless of its guise, adversity can leave us derailed, and it can make us feel incompetent. It can make us feel destitute. We might even feel that we have lost everything. However, it is how we choose to respond to these situations that ultimately indicates the journey that we are on. Now, I have had, and I've already mentioned about a pleasant experience that I had during COVID-19. I remember the challenges that we had to face during the pandemic. We had to change the way we taught at our school, for example, and many schools here in Qatar and right across the world. For the first time, we were basically forced to teach online. Our students could stay at home and they could join lessons. Now for me, one of the most pleasant memories I have of that experience was one student, English period, irrespective of what time of the day we had that period, she was always the first to arrive. And in a bright, breezy voice, "Good morning, sir. How are you?" I'm okay. I'm not going to mention her name. And this occurred during every lesson. And I thought, wow, what a resilient student. She showed true character because she never complained and she made every lesson a joy. Unlike so many of our other students who used the pandemic as an opportunity to sleep late, never pitching up for lessons, always complaining about horrible and horrid the experience was, this girl truly inspired me. And what happened over a period of time is that she inspired the fellow students, some of them which are sitting right here in the audience right now. It was truly beautiful to behold. Now, for us, it is crucial to acknowledge that adversity is an inevitable part of the human experience. None of us are immune to its grasp. It doesn't discriminate based on age, gender, your social status, or any other. What adversity does is it touches everyone. You are not immune to its influence. However, the important lesson that we have to learn is how we respond in these adversarial situations that determine our journey forward. Now, one of the things that I have found is a very important factor in coping with adversity is resilience. Who can tell me what that means? What does it mean to be a resilient person, to be resilient? Anyone? Yes. Not giving up, yes. There are many different, but that is a prime example of what resilience is. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. In other words, to face the challenges. And it is not a trait reserved for only a select few people. I often, during my lessons, ask my students, why are you not performing at your best? Why are you not setting yourselves higher targets? Why do you limit yourself to a C or a D, or maybe even a B? Why not going for the A star or the 9? And my students often tell me, sir, we are realistic. And I wonder about that. We are realistic. Realistic about what? Realistic about my lack of ability, because that is not true. You are all capable of achieving the greatest standards that you can set for yourselves. Are you realistic about the fact that you don't really want to do anything about your situation? And that is normally a question that they don't want to answer. They feel a little bit embarrassed and put in a box when I ask them that question. And this is the important thing. And we can all cultivate resilience. And how do we do that? By constantly practicing resilience. And what does that mean? Too often we find ourselves setting ourselves low standards because these are targets that we can easily meet. I say to build a strong mindset, to have the ability to bounce back from a situation as a lesson that you can learn by constant practice. And how do you do this? Challenge yourself. Do something you've never done before. Start playing chess, even though chess is very difficult or seems very difficult. Go for a run, a 10-kilometer run in the heat of the Qatar sun. But challenge yourself. Do a task that you feel is above your ability and strive to complete it. It will require determination, of course. And that is how we build that resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity. And I would like to right now, without sounding, to build a resilient mindset. What does it mean to persevere? It means to stick to a task and not give up, continuously performing it until you get it right. I remember when my son was a young child, he loved to play, to become resilient, is to have a change in mindset. Too many times we look at the world through blinkers and we never change our perspective. It's this way or it's the highway. It's my way and no other way. We do it this way. And people are not very conducive to change many times. We've done that for 20 years. Why must we change? Ask BlackBerry about that. BlackBerry refused to change the method in which they were doing things. Where's BlackBerry now? Gone. Is there anybody here who still owns a BlackBerry phone? Nobody does. Because they did not want to change. They stuck to one perspective. They did not change their minds. And instead of viewing adversity as a roadblock, we can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. Now, there are many stories. Our history is full of stories of people with that indomitable spirit, with the ability to persevere and become resilient. Think about Helen Keller. Do we all know the story of Helen Keller? Who knows the story of Helen Keller? Show of hands quickly. A few of us. Go and read about her. Google Helen Keller and you will be amazed by her story. Here is a woman who was blind, hearing impaired. She was actually completely deaf, but she became a celebrated speaker. How? Ask yourself the question. She's blind. She can't hear, but she can speak. How did she learn to speak? She wrote books. How did Helen Keller manage to write books? She was faced by insurmountable odds, but she did not let her disabilities define her. And she became a respected speaker right across the world. Respected and admired by millions who praised and loved her for her indomitable spirit. I would love to see you read the story of Helen Keller. And if you are not inspired by what she did and what she achieved, I'm sorry to have to then say there's something inside of you that just does not click. We also have, throughout our history, stories about famous people. Let's think about Oprah Winfrey. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? Oprah Winfrey? Right? Some of us do. Oprah Winfrey faced odds that none of us would be able to face at all. She was abused in childhood. She had a tumultuous time, but she became an icon to millions across the world. Go on YouTube this afternoon and watch one of Oprah's shows. She was an inspirational, and still is today, an inspirational speaker. People listened to her. She changed people's lives for the better and still does today. I admire her for the contributions that she's making in my country, for example. She opened up a girls' school in South Africa for the less privileged, and the school is doing well. All the students now go to universities in the United States with scholarships and bursaries provided by her. What about Nelson Mandela, President of South Africa, ex-President of South Africa? Who knows Nelson Mandela? Hands up. Ah, lovely. I feel honored because Nelson Mandela, 30 years of imprisonment, 30 years of incarceration. He was put away by a government that did not want to see him fight for the rights of his people, for voting, the freedom to live where they could. And he was put in jail, branded a terrorist. But did this man resent the world? Did he come out of prison bitter and angry? No. He emerged from decades of imprisonment to lead his nation towards reconciliation and unity. All of these people that I've mentioned exemplify the transformative power of resilience. But I don't want to just stop there. I want to bring this about bouncing back. It's also about bouncing forward. It's about harnessing the lessons that we've learned during these adverse periods of time to propel ourselves towards a brighter future. It's about finding meaning and purpose in our struggles and using these as stepping stones to reach even greater heights. I remember my brother James, when he was small, resilience. How do we get to be a resilient person in the face of adversity? Firstly, you must develop a resilient mindset. In other words, put yourself, as I've mentioned earlier, in a challenging situation where you know it's practically impossible for me to really do this, but I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can do it. And go and do it. If you fail, try again. Perseverance. And you have to be optimistic, and you have to believe in yourself. And instead of dwelling on the negatives, focus on the positives. Too many times, our students and we build a strong support network of friends, family, and mentors. They are there to support you, to provide you with guidance, and to show you how you can change your perspective. You don't have to suffer adversity all on your own. I feel so much pity for students who turn away from the help that is freely available, for example, at our school, in the form of ECAs. They struggle with a particular subject, but they are sometimes too proud to acknowledge that I have difficulty in coping. So they don't ask for help when the help is right there, available to them. Finally, embrace change and adaptability. Life is not a constant, and it is unpredictable. And sometimes the best laid plans go awry. Instead of resisting change, we must learn to embrace it and pivot, turn around when necessary. We must remember, it's not always the strongest and most intelligent people who survive, but it is those who adapt to change most easily. Those are the strong ones. Those are the ones who go forward. And then in conclusion, I would like to mention, adversity is not the end of our story. It is merely a chapter in the saga of our lives. Adversity is a point in time. It's not the end of everything. And by embracing resilience, we can navigate the twists and turns of fate with grace, dignity, and unwavering determination. So, what is my message to all of you? Let us rise above our challenges, overcome our obstacles, and emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Thank you.